Hello everybody, welcome back to the layout. As you can see, we have started cleaning out what will be the new room for the layout. So we've thrown away quite a lot already. So the idea is we're going through every box one by one, and just decide what we want to keep and what we want to throw away, but there's actually quite a lot that we want to throw away. So these boxes here, it's all Christmas related stuff, Christmas decorations and stuff, so we're gonna keep that. There's boxes with DVDs and boxes with CDs, so I guess we're gonna keep most of that. There's 4 empty boxes here which were full of stuff related to my work, scientific papers, books, notes, you name it. And I went through it and I just threw away everything. So the only thing I kept is this, just a few books, and that's it. So yeah, so we started cleaning out the room, and once this is cleaned out, I can start building the new benchwork. So most of the room has been emptied. As you can see, a couple of chairs are still there. They belong to this table here, so we will probably be selling that, but it will be taken out of the room. And then we have empty boxes and a few more boxes that we need to go through. This is some Lego stuff from my youngest daughter, but she's grown out of that, and so probably we'll sell that. And just 3 more boxes with some stuff that we still need to go through. But other than that, the room is empty. And so I've laid down some of the wood material that I still had, which I will be reusing, but I have to buy a lot more, so which I will do shortly. Alright, so I've got all the wood material that I need delivered and carried it inside the train room. So that's 1 sheet of plywood that I'll be using, and then this stuff over here. By the way, it's not everything of this wood goes into the layout. I have another project outside where I need to build a small wooden structure on top of our geothermal well outside. So part of that is for that project. But yeah, so I set up my saw. I've taken away the chairs that were standing over there. They're still over here, but we'll move them out as soon as we have space somewhere else. Yeah, so now it's just a matter of starting the construction. So in this bag there is screws and some more tools that I bought. So all ready to start constructing the benchwork. So I printed out a copy of the benchwork, and from this illustration I know all the length of all the slats that I need. So what I did was I started cutting all the long sides to length, and so that has been done, and now I will be cutting all the cross length one by one as I need them. And so some of the long sides are lying here, and some of them are lying over there. But I put the first frame together. So that's the frame that will go in the far corner over there. So we're on our way. Alright, so next I'll be putting some legs on the frame. So this is still the first frame that I'm working on. And the wood I'll be using is 48 by 48 millimeters, so it's quite thick. But I used the same wood for the legs on the previous layout, and it's quite robust, it works quite well. So since I want to make this layout modular, I want to make it such that it's quite easy to remove the legs if I need to. So the plan is to drill a hole here in the frame through the leg and use a bolt to tie it all together. So as you can see, I've used some squares to make everything nice and square. So that should all be fine now. So now it's just a matter of drilling the hole, putting the bolt in place and tighten it. So in addition, to give it a bit more stability, I want to have some cross connections in a 45-degree angle from the leg onto the frame, and I'll do that on that side as well. So that should make it nice and sturdy. Alright, so that is the first module, or the first frame and legs done and in place. And so I'll continue with the second frame, which is over there. And I will not give this 4 legs. I will just give it, I will attach it to this frame over here, and then two legs on the other side. I think that's sturdy enough. I don't need that many legs. So yeah, so I'll just continue putting things together now and show you some progress later on. So some more progress. I have done 2 more frames. So this will be the entire length of the layout. And yeah, from the looks of it, I think I'll be quite happy with that. So just zooming in how I attached the frames to each other. So I have a bolt over here and one over there. So that fixes these 2 frames together. And as you can see, I have, so this first frame has 4 legs, and then this second frame does not have legs over here, but it has 2 legs over there. And then the third frame again with 2 bolts attached to the second frame. The third frame also no legs, but legs at the end. And yeah, so the whole thing is quite sturdy actually. So really pleased with that. Okay, so let's have a look at the drawing of the framework. So these 3 pieces over here I have done already, so they are mounted together. And so next I worked on this piece, this longer piece, and then there's a long piece here. So they are done. And then there is a narrow piece that goes here. I've done that as well. I've also added the legs. So those are the tiny gray squares at those corners, those locations I've placed legs. So I've done those as well. So the remaining parts are this one and this one, but I ran out of wood, so I first need to buy some more wood before I can continue with those. But just to show you where I am, So I've placed the parts that I did upside down with the legs. So you can see, so this one here, this is the longer piece. And this one comes in front of that. So this one here is this piece here, and the longer piece which is lying here, it's this one here. And then I have the narrow part which is lying here. So that's as far as I got. As I said, I need to buy more wood, but all of these pieces I will put some plywood on top of that. And I do have a sheet of plywood, so I can continue with that. So saw all of the pieces in the right length and width. So I'll do that next until I have bought more wood. Alright, so I started cutting up the plywood. So you can see some of the pieces over here. And I also bought more wood. So I continued constructing the frames. So this is a largest frame that I constructed now. And then there's another smaller frame lying over here that I also constructed. So the smaller frame is this one here, and the larger is the square over here. So what you can also see on the drawing is that this frame has a different color, which is indicating that that frame will be placed lower as compared to the other frames. And the reason for that is that I'm going to model a harbor scene over here. And so the amount that this frame should be lowered should be equal to the height of what will be the quay walls in the harbor. And I have estimated that to be 3 centimeters. So I need to find out how I'm going to mount this frame against that frame. So to show you how I'm going to mount the lower frame against the higher frame, I made this drawing here. So the higher frame is on this side, the lower frame is on that side. Now the height of my wood of the frame is 4.5 centimeters. My quay walls will be 3 centimeters in height, so they will be sitting over here. And that means that if I place the frames against each other like that, I have an overlap of 1.5 centimeters. And I think that is too little to place a thick bolt through for the mounting. So what I will be doing is I will be cutting pieces of wood that have a height of 3 centimeters, attach it to the lower side of the higher frame, and then that will mean that the lower part of the frames of the lower frame and the higher frame, they will be level with each other. And so essentially that gives me then the thickness that I need to place a bolt through. So then in the lower part I can place a bolt and it will be sturdy enough, I think. So that's how I will be doing that. Alright, so I've done all the frames, and as you can see I've started putting all of them together. So let me just show you. So here on this side there are 3 frames which are already mounted together, and then there is 1 frame on the back which is the next one to be mounted, but I need more of these clamps to make sure I got it all straight. So I need to go and buy a couple of those. And then there's the long frame in the back and the smaller, somewhat narrower one in the front. Then there is this in-between piece that's coming here, and then the big square frame over there. So that gives quite a good impression of the size of the layout. And yeah, quite happy with that. So as I have explained, there will be a swing gate in between here, so that I can come in here, and then in front of here, in front of this frame and in front of this frame, there will be a very narrow piece that is sort of that will be sitting a bit lower, and that will be part of the harbor scene. So if I show you on the drawing, that's this blue piece here. So that's a narrow piece, which together with this one here will form the harbor scene. But I'm actually quite happy with the width that I have in between here, so it's quite easy to get around here, so that should be sufficient. So I'm actually quite happy with the dimensions. Turned out really well. So yeah, so there we go. I'll just continue mounting everything together, and then it's the plywood. Some of the pieces I've already cut out here. They are here, and then so after the plywood is done, I can start laying some track. So we're getting there. Alright, quick update. As explained, this corner piece will be 3 centimeters deeper than this part, so this part of the framework of the layout will be 3 centimeters higher. And so I made this drawing explaining how I will be attaching that. So with this block of 3 centimeters height attached to the lower part of the part that is sitting higher. So I've been doing that, and just to show you, so I have these blocks here. They are 3 centimeters in height, and I attached 3 of those to this part of the frame, which is sitting 3 centimeters higher than the end part here. And so then the bolt will go through this, and as such I will be attaching it to this part here. Now what I think I will be doing, just to be on the safe side, is I will be attaching like a ledger on this side, so just to show you, like this, and then I can have a couple of more blocks of 3 centimeters in height that can support this frame here. It's probably not necessary, but it's just to be on the safe side. So that's what I'll be doing next. Alright, so this is the drawing that we started out with. So essentially all of the frames for the benchwork. And I have now assembled all of this together. And I will show you that now. And so this is the new benchwork all put together. Happy with the result. It's all very level. Quite surprisingly. Not many mistakes. I actually made a minor mistake on the lower part here. So actually this part, this frame, was about 3 centimeters short, and so I had to compensate for that. Slightly. So you see, if you look along it, there's a slight bend in it, but I can live with that. So obviously, as I explained, the lower part here will be for the harbor scene. So that worked out quite well. A nice long stretch on this side, This will essentially be one track with a side track going up the mountains in the corner here, and then along this side will be city scene, harbor scene, station, yard, etc. And then over here there will be sort of a canal and more water scenes. So yeah, really happy with this result. So the one thing that I haven't done yet is the swing gate that will be coming in between here. So I will be doing that next, and then after that I will put up the back scenes, the backdrop along this side, and all the way over here. So the backdrop will be from that corner into that corner and then to that end over there, and I will be reusing the backdrop that I have in the current layout. Yeah, I like the way that turned out, the painting that I did, the sky and the mountains. So I'm going to reuse that. So that's it. I'm going to wrap up the video here. If you've gotten this far, thanks for watching, and see you on the next update. Bye for now.